This is planet Earth. It's a pretty remarkable place. It's the only planet in our solar system with a breathable atmosphere, which is lucky for the nearly 8.7 million species that call Earth home. 70% of the planet is covered by water. Things like rivers and lakes, great expanses of ice, and vast oceans. The remaining 30% of the Earth's surface is composed of land, such as mountains, forests, grasslands, and deserts. It's an extraordinary place for many reasons. It provides us everything from the food we eat, to the air we breathe, to the energy necessary to flip on a light switch at home. But sometimes we forget that these activities are actually using up the planet's limited natural resources. Our collective overuse of the Earth's natural resources and systems is generally conceptualized as a wide variety of problems, such as climate change, water scarcity, and the collapse of fisheries. While these issues are some of today's most pressing challenges, they are all symptoms of a single larger problem: natural resource overuse.
This problem of overusing the planet's available natural resources is called the Global Sustainability Challenge. In order for society to be truly sustainable, the rate at which we consume natural resources must be less than, or at least in balance with, the rate at which these resources are replenished. This means that we need to learn how to use natural resources more efficiently, while also considering the Earth's carrying capacity, which is the number of living organisms that the Earth can support without environmental degradation.
Let's take a look at how we use the Earth's biophysical carrying capacity. We use approximately 6% for human activities such as housing, transportation, infrastructure, industrial production, and other constructed surfaces. We'll call this built land. Another 12% is used as grazing land for livestock, and we use about 6% for fishing grounds. We also use 12% for forest products and 35% for cropland. So far, we have accounted for 71% of Earth's total productive space. However, when we begin looking at our collective carbon footprint, which is the amount of productive space needed to offset human carbon dioxide emissions, we pretty quickly fill up the remaining 29% of the planet. In actuality, we consume a whopping 83% of the planet's carrying capacity with carbon footprint alone. This drives us well over the biophysical limitations of the planet. Factoring in our carbon footprint, we are currently using 154% of Earth's biosphere, but this still doesn't even cover all of the productive space that we currently use. If we want to protect biodiversity, we also need to allocate some productive space as protected areas. Currently, we have designated a total of 14% of the Earth's land and water as protected areas. Looking at these numbers, it quickly becomes clear that we are using significantly more than 100% of our planet. In fact, we are actually using 168% of the Earth. How is this possible? We are consuming more resources than Earth can sustainably provide. Using 168% of the Earth's carrying capacity means that it takes approximately 1.7 years for the Earth to regenerate the resources we consume in just 1 year, resulting in an increasingly dwindling natural resource base. We're already consuming so much that we would require nearly 2 Earths in order for these natural resources to be renewed at the same rate as they're being consumed.
In short, today's consumption and production patterns are not sustainable. We are currently depending on Earth's natural resource reserves, but eventually we'll burn through these as well. In the near future, the rapid rate at which we are overconsuming Earth's natural resources will leave us with a planet that can no longer supply our immediate resource demands. Several solutions have been put forth to address the increasingly pressing issue of global overconsumption. One of the most popular arguments posits that more sustainable resource use can be achieved through technological innovation. Often, technological improvements can lead to more efficient production processes. That is, we can use fewer resources to produce an equal or increased amount of goods and services. In theory, that sounds great, but often increased efficiency doesn't lead to decreased resource use, and in fact, might do just the opposite. While technological optimism is an appealing way to approach the global sustainability challenge, we can't rely on technology alone to solve the problem of overconsumption.
The choices that we make today will determine the legacy that we leave behind for future generations. We simply can no longer afford to continue consuming finite natural resources as though they are infinite. If we are to create a sustainable and equitable world, we need to fundamentally change the way that we use and perceive natural resources. While the problems posed by the collective overuse of the Earth's resources are complex, the solution doesn't need to be. Ultimately, we need to ensure that our natural resource use is within the carrying capacity of the planet. So, if the solution to the global sustainability challenge is to change our understanding of natural resource use, what can we as a society do to solve this?
One potential tool to addressing the collective overuse of natural resources is natural resource accounting. Natural resource accounting is a long-term policy and planning mechanism that's based on biophysical balance sheets. These balance sheets allow a country to compare their total resource demands to their available supplies, similar to balancing a checkbook. Natural resource accounting informs sustainable management of natural resources within the Earth's carrying capacity. It empowers countries to evaluate, report, and make progress towards truly sustainable management of natural resources, and guiding them towards the goal of promoting intergenerational equity. We need to be aware of our natural budget, the carrying capacity of the planet, in order to make smarter decisions about our consumptive behaviors. A biophysical balance sheet that quantitatively takes stock of the existing natural resources will drive nations to do just that.
Natural resource accounting is a practical mechanism for achieving sustainable development. It can help build the political support for the difficult policy choices that must be made if we are to accomplish truly transformative change and ensure more sustainable global living. We are facing the global sustainability challenge, but it is not the first obstacle mankind has encountered. We have the capacity and the incentive to act to ensure a sustainable future. Now we just need to work together to help protect the Earth and its future generations.